All right, so guys, what'd you guys end up playing this
Oh,
week?
well, personally, I've been playing Valorant. Uh, it's been painful. I've been doing it for esports, so I've been training and trying to get better. But it hurts the soul.
The headache.
Be about to say, does that because is that the game that you're on the esports team at
Yeah,
college for?
yeah.
Okay,
I didn't know
yeah.
you were on an esports team. Hello, when did that
Well,
happen?
it's not one of the better ones because I'm not that great at the game. I've been playing it for like a month and a half. But yeah,
But at least you're
Oh,
on it.
congrats.
I am on it. This
Yeah,
is true.
because I assume there is some sort of like trial that has to happen where it's like we
Yeah,
select these
typically.
people in this tier, hardy der.
I'm kind of thinking about doing that. There's this gaming lounge that is opening up in my town on the 10th,
Mm-hmm.
and they have like tournaments and like little get-togethers, squads, whatever you want to call it, and teams.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about doing it myself, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm about to say, is there anyone you know that lives close to you that would be willing to do that? Like,
Possibly. I am some of my high school friends.
okay. All right.
We play Overwatch together, but I didn't realize that they were on console and I'm on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So it was putting them in the PC pool when we were playing together,
Oh.
and they were not having a fun time. Stressful time, but
Yeah, I'll say it'd be interesting to see what the lounge near you would be using, whether they be using consoles or PCs.
I think it's a mixture of both.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's always, yeah, whenever consoles and PCs mix into a competitive match, it always goes usually the PC player's route.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But yeah, Shark, what games have you been playing this week?
Overwatch mainly. I somehow got into Plat 1, and I don't know how I did that. Because I was silver 4 last week, and now I'm
Yeah.
Plat 1 today.
Yeah, I still have to get myself. Granted, I haven't played Overwatch 2 that much, but I still have to get myself out of bronze territory. Because
It's a struggle.
ever since Overwatch 2 launched, I have not been able to get out of bronze at all. But granted, I haven't played enough to get out of bronze.
Well,
But
that's the thing is with lower, like with games and composition, I feel like it's always hard to get out of low tier because there's so many people in it
Mm-hmm.
who are different like compatibilities and different rank what they should be, but they just placed in it, and so it's kind of hard to crawl out of.
well, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's especially with Overwatch 2 because Overwatch 2, I forget
There's a
whether
lot
this
of new
glitch.
people.
Yeah, a lot of new people, but then I forget whether this was a glitch that was just prevalent in the first 2 weeks or if it lasted any longer. But in the beginning, everyone was being put into the exact same rank.
Yeah. I was Overwatch 1 when it ended. I was low silver or high silver, low gold, like on the border, mainly gold. And then when I went to Overwatch 2, I won all my matches, but I got bronze 5.
Yeah, like everyone was bronze 5, which I remember those matches. They were both the most painful, but also the most interesting.
They are
Because you
fun.
would have people who were clearly like leagues above their teammates, but then you'd have everyone else who's like mixed bag teams.
It
Like, it's just
still
very
kind of
weird.
happens in the high rank, honestly. Last night, um, on the other team, there was this. He didn't rank for support, but it was tank masters, damage. I think diamond 1, but I'm plat, and I was going against basically a master tank.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't queue for tank, but queue for support. But
Oh, that's weird.
yeah,
Because usually whenever you queue for a specific role, you get that role. I didn't realize the game would
well, unless they were
subvert
doing
that.
all roles, but I don't know what they were doing. But they were not a support main at all. They were mainly a tank,
Yeah.
and they had the profile open. It was masters, and
Oh.
I'm plat.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's like 2 or 3 tiers above me. Why are
Mhm.
you here?
Yeah.
So like it still does that in the higher ranks, but lower ranks are even worse.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like ranking in games sort of across the board have usually been a bit wacky. Like I don't think anyone has a perfect system yet.
No.
Because I remember what was it when what game is it? Well, I know DBD for a while had ranking, but
Like the first ranking?
yeah, like initially where it's like iridescent wasn't just like how many matches you played over the month, it was how good you were overall.
How good you were. It's like, and you could rank down.
Yeah. Whereas
when it
nowadays
had like
you can't.
the yellow, the green, and the like red tiers, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
It was so much harder. I never got out of the purple on that.
Yeah, I think at one point I hit whatever rank 5 was once. Like I got that achievement, but then I never got around to anything higher until after they did the rework of all that, where they're like, "Oh, it's just how many games you've played." And you can't derank. It's like, "Huh?" But then that's sort of the same thing with
I was kind of a sellout, honestly. Because it made ranking up so much easier. It's almost if I were to just play straight for a month, I would get Eerie every time.
Yeah. Yeah, that. I feel like that's one of the reasons why my hours in Dead by Daylight are so atrocious. Because it's like it's my only game, at least on Steam, that has over 1,000 hours.
Yeah,
Although,
mine's near 1,000.
yeah, I kind of wish I could have some of those 1,000 hours back. You know, just a few hundred for some
That's
other
me
game.
with Overwatch. I was looking last night. I have 555 hours straight on Mercy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it makes me want to cry when I think about it.
Is it? Oh, I assume then the Mercy is your most played.
Yes, next to Moira and Kiriko.
What's Moira at?
250 something hours.
Okay. Wait, how is Kiriko your third? Kiriko like just
Because I've been playing her mainly this season.
Ah, okay. Because I'm about to say Kiriko's like one of the newer ones.
She's new, yeah.
Yeah.
But I only really switched between Mercy, Moira when she came out, and Lucio. I never really touched Ana. Never really touched Zen. This is before BAP was introduced in Brig.
Yeah.
So I never really touched them. But now I'm venturing out, and I'm mainly playing Ana and Kiriko.
Yeah. I think for me, I think my top 3 are Lucio, Junkrat, and Mercy, which is an odd combination because I know Junkrat's one of those.
I love Junkrat. He's my DPS.
Oh yeah, like I love playing as Junkrat, but I do know there are some matches I've played where, you always get every once in a while the matches where people like try to tell you how to play.
Oh yeah.
And there have been quite a few matches I've had where someone would be like, "Hey Junkrat, can you switch to like something that actually like aims down sights or something?" And I'm like, "No." Like you will not like me if I have to aim down sights.
Like
I'm
hit
like
scan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like I think I thrive with Junkrat because he's such a chaotic character.
He's so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. But, I can understand how in certain situations he can be declined in doing a lot of his moves. But for the most part, because at least in my opinion, even if a Junkrat like fails to kill people, just putting Junkrat in the middle of the enemy team and causing havoc can do quite a bit to at least get the rest of the team to regroup and go back on the objective.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, like with ranking, like I remember with CS:GO for a while, and I think it might still be the thing today. I haven't played CS:GO in a bit, but CS:GO had a whole had a lot of people who were sort of latching on to higher level or higher ranked players, whether they be friends or just people they meet, and sticking with them and just like getting high ranks because they're playing with.
Piggybacked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I know there's one YouTuber that I really enjoy that goes by the name of Soviet Womble. And the first time he got a rank, it was like Master Guardian Elite, I think. And that for CSGO is like one of the higher ranks. And I just remember on the video that he made of people reacting to his rank like his friends, his one friend was like absolutely ballistic because his one friend had talked about how he had like worked like hundreds of hours into the game to just get to Master Guardian 1, and yet he gets it in 10 wins just by playing with him.
That's what you get for boosting someone.
Yeah.
Honestly. But if that were to happen, you gotta also take pride in yourself knowing that you're the reason they got it.
Yeah, but I can see how
it's also kind of like it's frustrating at the same time. Like, yeah, you got it because of me, but also fuck you, you got it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a weird balancing act where it's like being proud, but then also being like, what have I done with the hundreds of hours I put in for the thing that you got in 10?
That's why I feel kind of guilty of for everyone going to get everything for me on the server tonight.
Oh, with Sons of the Forest?
Yeah, because everyone already did that, and I'm behind, and I feel guilty.
Well, luckily
I was
for
feeling
you...
I was feeling kind of sick, otherwise I would have been here.
Yeah, well, luckily for you, Chase and Allie still need to get some things. So, because I think Tristan was saying Allie still needs to get the can opener and the shovel. I think the shovel? Yeah. And Chase needs to get everything. Because
I need to get almost everything.
Huh?
I need to get almost everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But last time I was on, I got full armor, and I got backup armor in my thing. I got food, I got water, I got a little bit of ammo when I get a gun. I'm like fully prepared to go out on my own and get everything.
Mm-hmm.
But looking a lot better with people to show me the way.
I should mention something to you. You know Virginia, aka your wife, in the game?
She didn't die, did she?
No, she's still alive. She's fine.
Okay.
But Tristan believes that he witnessed her shooting herself.
She misses me, that's why.
Because I gave her one of my pistols, one of the previous sessions, and Tristan just like Tristan always forgets what the marker looks like for your wife, and so he ran up to the marker on the map just in the middle of the night and saw your wife and was like, oh, okay, hi. And then your wife just started shooting at something, but Tristan was looking around and being like, I don't see anything that's like around that's alive besides the two of us. And then he turns back around to her and she's just like on the ground needing to be revived. Okay. He's like, what happened here? But yeah, I know I've been considering giving her my shotgun as well, because she can dual wield.
Oh, she can?
Yeah. But I haven't done it just yet. I probably should, because getting the shotgun again is really easy. I just have to go back to that grave and dig it up to get the shotgun. But I just haven't gone around to doing that recently. But I say, David, did you ever play The Forest or even Sons of the Forest?
Yeah, I played The Forest and I also beat it. Like, I beat it when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I haven't played the Sons of the Forest, but...
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. Because even though right now, there are certainly some issues with the game, for the most part...
Yeah, I've seen some TikToks, so I'm like, oh?
Yeah.
Especially with Kelvin cutting things down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the whole thing is, but yeah, apparently Kelvin has a knack for destruction in the game.
Yeah, I noticed he cuts down everyone's tree houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that
I mean, it
does.
makes sense, but that just means don't send him for logs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I only ever have him go out for fish right now. But that does remind me. There was a Q&A that the devs for Sons of the Forest did recently,
Mm-hmm.
and they're actually
Yeah.
mentioning that they have big plans for both Kelvin and Virginia, who are the two AI companions.
Yeah.
Because they say here that they what is it that they have big plans to keep adding tasks for Kelvin to complete, um, and also considering trying to figure out ways where you can start building something and have Kelvin complete that building, or like have him like construct a wall around a base, or even repair things. Um, I know for Virginia, they're trying to figure out ways to make her braver once she has a weapon, and also to increase how bold she is depending on how many cannibals she's killed. So
Interesting.
it'll be interesting to see where
Yeah,
those all go.
yeah, it's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah. Of course, I really wish that we could give Kelvin a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that'd be
Kelvin's the
great.
one where like his sole thing is he just runs away. Granted, that's what Virginia does if you don't give her a weapon, but it's like
Mhm.
it's just one of those weird things where Kelvin just either cowers in fear or runs away.
Listen, the man just went through a helicopter crash. He's scared.
Yeah, that's true. He's still bleeding out of his ears a bit.
I still
So
want to know how he like knows to run away if he can't hear anything.
yeah, yeah.
Echolocation. Echolocation.
Like, come on, man. Well,
That's
if
an
that was the
issue.
case, he wouldn't cut down the tree houses. He would know.
Yeah, he'll look be like, ah yes, house.
I gotta update my game.
Oh, Sons of the Forest. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the devs take it. But I know the one thing that the devs did mention was that they were surprised to hear how much of the community wanted the log sleds to return.
Those were
And
nice though.
yeah, they were really nice. But it's like they initially didn't include it with Sons of the Forest because there were so many bugs with it in the first game, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't exactly like so because all the bugs they weren't sure if it would be the most friendly thing to add. But now apparently with them seeing all the reactions on social media and on the Reddit page and Discord server, they're like, all right, it'll come back at some point, but we just don't know when.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Of course, Chris, what is it? I would still be interested to see if there's more of a connection between the first game and the second game than we've been led to believe so far. Because right now, the only thing we really have connection wise is this is something the developer stated where at the end of the forest, um,
Mm-hmm.
in that room, you apparently see like monitors or something, and you see something called Site 2.
Hmm.
And um that site is the island that you visit in Sons of the Forest.
Hmm.
So I'd be interested in seeing just what all that could mean, because it's like, because even though obviously it seems that someone's monitoring both the first island in the first game and this new island in the second game,
Yeah.
they're so far lore wise, there's not too much of a connection yet between the two. Because in the first game, it was primarily about a father and son crash landing on the island, the son being taken, and then the father going out to find his son. And then along the way, there's like a few people who've been shipwrecked there, like preachers and what sort of stuff. Or sort of people. And then with the second game, you're a paramilitary organization that's tasked with finding this wealthy family, and someone shoots down your plane. Or not your plane, your helicopter, my bad. And then that's how you begin your adventure.
Interesting.
So it'll be interesting to see if there's ever going to be more of a connection given in this game, or if we're literally going to have to wait for a third game to be like, yes, they're all connected this way.
Pretty sure we're gonna figure it out tonight.
Yeah, maybe.
Only one way to find out.
Because it shouldn't take me too long to get on the stuff.
Yeah, because what do you still need? I forget.
So I got the crossbow, the fire axe, the shovel, the rebreather. Don't remember what else I got, but I don't have any of the weapons, like, other than those.
But you don't have, like, the shotgun or the pistol?
No.
Okay.
I don't have any guns.
Okay. Yeah, because there are three firearms you can get. There's a shotgun, a pistol, and a revolver.
Yeah, I know where the shotgun is. It's buried in that little graveyard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the pistol is out by the water, I think, right?
One of them is.
Okay.
So there
and
there
then
are
the
two
revolver
places.
is with the katana.
Yeah, the revolver should be in the same place as the katana. Yeah, because there are two places where you can get the pistol. There's that boat, which is the easiest one to get to. And then, despite the fact that there's a shark. And then in one of the caves, so either one of the caves or one of the bunkers, you can find the pistol again there. I just don't remember which one it was, because I kind of found it by accident.
I got you.
And I remember finding it by accident, and then I'm like, oh, there's one right here. And I just saw your wife was nearby, and I'm like, here you go, have this. And I went and got that one.
Like, my plan for tonight is to literally just walk all around the map and get everything.
Yeah.
And then head back to base.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not going to go back to the base until I get everything.
Yeah. I know Chase will probably end up joining you.
Okay.
Because I know he's...
and if we had, like, one other with someone that had everything that could, like, get us to piggyback.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Until I get a gun of my own, then I'll be like, I got...
I will say, the thing that shocked me was the fact that the crossbow is as powerful as it is. Like, I almost prefer using the crossbow compared to any of the firearms.
I love...
But I also know the one weapon that's very satisfying is the katana. Because just the dismemberment is so nice in this game compared to the last one. Because, David, do you remember how in the first one, like, the way you dismember the cannibals was just by, like, killing them and then chopping them up?
Yeah.
Well, in this game, at least with the katana, you can dismember them while they're alive.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's very weapon dependent, granted, but yeah, there have been many times where we've accidentally cut off, well, not accidentally, we've been attacked by them and we've cut off like a leg or an arm, and they'll just like go on the ground and like start crawling backwards, being like, all right, I'm still alive, but get away from me. Chris Shark, I know you and I last week, I think it was last week, it might have been last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the killer clowns.
Yeah, it was last week. No, it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I ended up, I was just checking the Twitter page, the Twitter page for Killer Clowns, before the podcast started, before we started recording.
Yeah.
And there was actually someone who they responded to because someone added them and was like, any news on when we can expect a free beta code for signing up, or is it too soon to say? And then they replied to the person saying, my guy, we are cooking like hell over here. We're being a little quiet on the socials because we want to make sure the best big thing we show off on here is actually a big thing. Trust that we are not going to do one of those the day before situations. Which I thought was a weird but probably deserved dig at the day before game. Because they've been having a few issues recently.
What happened with that one? I haven't heard anything.
So the day before has been they've had their release date pushed back.
Oh, it's that game.
Yeah.
Never mind. I think I heard stuff about that where it's like, is this game even real?
Yeah, there were someone accused them of something because they kept like pushing back the release date, but then there's a trademark dispute with the title the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the company is in the midst of a battle to get the trademark for the game. But then also the devs are trying to prove to the community that the game actually exists and it's not just like something they're dragging the community along for. Because I know, and they made some sort of like really rushed video of like what the game looks like currently. And I remember it got very mixed reviews. Because just of how odd it looked. But granted, with it being like essentially beta footage, it's like it's not surprising.
Yeah. I think I had that game on Steam from my Wii, but it's no longer on Steam.
Oh, they take all of Steam?
Yeah, it's not on Steam. I'm looking right now.
Really? That's weird. Oh yeah, there's the day after, but not the day before. What?
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, I didn't realize they took it off of Steam. Because I don't think it's become I don't think it became an Epic exclusive. So I'm wondering if they just pulled it to, like, stop having people, like, shame them.
Yeah. I heard a little bit of controversy on that, but I didn't really follow. I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, but that's sort of the thing. It's like, as we've discussed, it seems like every single episode we've done so far, games that have come out this year have so far been really good, but really controversial across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Sons of the Forest is like the only one I can think of right now that doesn't have some sort of controversy around it. But I think the one, I'm just seeing this game, just looking at the day before. I think the one game that I saw that they released gameplay for that I wasn't too impressed by was Dead Island 2. Did you guys watch any of the gameplay they showed off?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, it's like it kind of looks, and this probably isn't like a bad thing because I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it. But it does look very, very similar to the first Dead Island game, at least in terms of combat. But I don't know. There's something weird about it that I don't know, just throws me off. But then again, the fact that the game is coming out now throws me off, considering it was announced in like 2015.
Yeah, Dead Island, that is wild.
Yeah.
That is kind of... Yeah, Dead Island, that was like forever ago, right?
Yeah, that was PS3.
Yeah.
Because that game used to come in all the time when I worked retail.
Oh, really? Like people like trading it in?
Yeah, and we got a lot of copies in just from the district or the DC warehouse.
Yeah.
I never played it myself.
Yeah, I never played it, but I remember I watched like a few YouTubers play it, and it was always one of those games where the glitches seemed to make the game. Like it was like the fact that there was like duplication glitches that they never really patched out, and bunch of other just oddities here and there. Like, it just seemed like an overall just strange thing, but I think the only way it formed a community was in the fact of how broken and messed up it was. I'm about to say, David, did you ever play that game?
Yeah,
What'd you ask?
I was just asking if you ever played Dead Island.
But yeah, no, I beat it.
Okay, so you beat it. Did you?
They also had a DLC for it, right?
Yeah, well, they had the Dead Island Riptide.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think it was you get on the boat to escape at the end of one, and then Riptide's like, oh no, the boat crashed on the same island. Have fun.
Yeah, on the opposite side, I think.
Yeah. Did you play it with friends, or did you just do it solo?
Solo.
Okay. How was that? Because it always seemed like one of those games that co-op was the main way to stomach it. At least from what I saw.
It wasn't too terrible. It was just very long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's fair. It seems like that it came out at a time where that was something that happened a lot with some single player games that had co-op abilities, is that it could occasionally be too long. But I don't know. I feel like nowadays games are either too short or extremely too long for people.
Yeah, there's barely any in between.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's like, but I know, what was the? I'm trying to think of the one game. I don't know what it was. But there's some game I saw recently where I was like, oh, that's what it was. So, recently I have been tasked with one of my jobs to review the Switch port of a game called Little Witch Nobetta. I think it's Nobetta? Sounds right. And it was some weird, like, anime girl witch game. And at first, I was like, okay, this seems like it's going to be something really quick to be done, not a difficult game, whatever. Then I find out, after playing for just half an hour, that it's a Souls-like game. And it just uses its cutesy anime sort of cover to lure people in.
I would not have guessed. I'm looking at the cover right now, and right when you said Souls-like, I would not guess it from the cover art.
Exactly. Like, and it's a game that, like, I even saw when I was looking up, I'm like, how long is this game? Because initially the enemies are very easy, like the first stage. And somewhere I read they're like, oh, it takes about 9 hours if you want to do everything, but about 6.5 if you speed run through it. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm like, I should be able to do somewhere in between there. And literally the first boss kicked my ass 4 times. And I was like, okay, this is not a game. This is not the game I thought I was playing a few minutes ago. And it was like, and ever since that first boss, the enemies have significantly increased in difficulty.
Huh.
But the weird thing about it is the main reason, at least that I feel that's difficult for me, is the fact that all of the enemies just sort of spam from time to time. Like, they're just weird chunks of them. But then there are often times where if you defeat one enemy, another enemy will instantly spawn where that downed enemy died. And I'm like, seriously? Why is this happening?
Yeah, no, fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know. So I'm
it's
still
like a never-ending horde.
essentially, yeah. So I'm like slugging my way through it, but I'm honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I'll end up beating the game in time for the review, but we'll see.
Oh,
good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because I have 3 days till the review is due.
Well, there are speedruns on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you can find.
Oh, yeah. Because the one thing,
story if you don't get to it.
Yeah, because the one thing that I quickly found out is there are a lot of mechanics in the game that the game never tells you exists, but you have to know them in order to pass certain areas.
Like what?
Well, for one example, in like the second level of the game, there are 3 pillars that are on fire in different parts of a room, and you have to destroy all 3 pillars at the same time. And at first I was like, okay, I just need to get them all down to whatever sort of health, and then hit them all in rapid like succession, and then I'll be fine. But they regenerate health if you don't damage them long enough, and I'm like, uh-oh. So then I looked online after about 10 minutes. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? And the this one tutorial thing told me it's like you have to charge up your ice powers and then look at all of the targets through your reticle before the powered up ice ability goes down to 0, and then hit a special attack button and it will attack all 3 of them at the same time. And I'm like, I was so confused because it's like the game tells you early on that there is a lock-on feature, but there's no way in the traditional lock-on feature to lock on to 3 different targets at the same time. So it's one of those weird backward things that, and I saw with like reviews, people were saying like that the game needs to heavily rework the tutorial because they just kind of throw you in the deep end whenever they give you new power, where they're like, here's a basic description, figure out what it does.
That just makes it seem a little bit more interesting, honestly, because you just have to kind of like pick and prod and figure it out.
Yeah, like it's definitely more old school. Because I remember when I was playing through some of the Harry Potter games before Hogwarts Legacy came out, there were a few times where I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing right here? And the game just like would not tell you, like there's no hints or anything. And there'd be like once or twice where I'd have to like stop and look at a tutorial or see someone else playing the game and just be like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And just run around doing that then in all locations that you could do it. But I don't know. Alright, well that's probably a good place to stop. You guys think?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well thank you everyone for listening to us talk about all the various things we talked about. And we will see you guys next week. Adios.
Adios.
Bye.